Welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach Kinsella. I'm a comic book artist, and as you saw from the thumbnail, we're talking NECA's Ninja Turtles today. Let's get into it. So as you can see by some of these turnarounds, he's a wonderfully detailed figure, and we're really going to get into that. First thing I want to talk about is that I've not had any quality control issues with this figure whatsoever. He is immaculate. Works great. I even had to boil the hand a little bit to get the size to fit in there because they have that big bolt at the very end of it. We'll talk about that in a little while, right? So let's get into this. We're going to talk first. What I do on Toy Art here is I talk about the turnaround. So we're going to turn it around. Then I'm going to talk about the sculpting, the painting, and then final thoughts. So you can see them from the front, from the side, the back, side again, right? So let's get into the sculpting. And I couldn't be more happier with this figure. He's so cool. The Psy fit in perfectly right up at the front here. Just like a good Michelangelo. A couple things that really stand out to me. First is, they got a really fantastic Frankenstein face. The neck bolts are there. What was really cool is that one of the neck bolts actually goes back to this timer on the back, which is all like, it looks like it's had some wear and tear, which is great. I'm super big fan of what do those neck bolts do? Well, here we go. And he looks all grungy and gross. He's got a great scar on his head. He's very, very true to that Frankenstein patchwork. He's got some cracks in his turtle shell. The chains are all metal coming around here. So I'm going to talk about the front, I'm going to talk about the back, and then we'll talk about paint. So on the front, coming up close, he has some great detailing, some great grungy scrapes right across his brow there. His teeth are like brownish, which I think is really amazing that they went that far into the detail. He's definitely decomposing and rotting. The headband sculpts right to make him look like a nice mean Raphael, which I always like. We like a good mean Raphael. Coming down further, you've got another valve clock piece right over here. You've got the chains. Again, the Psy fit right there. The knee pads come over the pants here, and the pants have that wonderful cross hatching to make them look like they have some really great detailing right here. And of course, those wonderfully wacky Frankenstein elevator lift shoes with bolts down the end bottom here. One thing I really like is, again, you can just see where he was stitched together. He's got holes in him from being a corpse. Let's see if we can get that to focus better. There we go. Yeah, he's one hell of a piece of art. I'll give it that. Let's flip him over. You can see on the side, here we go. We have the elbow joints. Nice, covered up by the elbow pad here. Same amount of detail. It's a little tough to see. We come around the back. I love the crack of the turtle shell, the handle right here. All the cracks spiral out from out of there. He's got a piece of New York sewer stapled to him. Nice little Ninja Turtles touch here. Again, he's got bolts that are holding his turtle shell in together. You come around the backside. You got all that detailing comes around the back end. You can see they've got the same amount of detail for the knee pads, and in the back of the knee pads there's leather too. So they didn't skimp on any part of this figure. There we go. Which is great. This is just a supremely wonderfully sculpted figure, by all means. I'm going to talk about the paint here next. Is that for the most part, the paint on him is all gray. There's tones of gray, but it's mostly all gray. And you can see some of the black in the stitching. Even the turtle flesh itself, it has more of a desaturated green, which I think is really cool. Frankenstein's monster we've always seen in gray from those old movies. This one here, though, of course, we're combining a lot of that old movie gray with the Ninja Turtles not being cartoony, even like the headband, of course, here, I'm going to bring this, show you close up on the camera here. You see it's like, at first I was kind of bummed about this because I was like, man, it's not really red. But if we're thinking about a color palette altogether, we want, and we're talking desaturation, we want the colors to not pop. Like the thing that pops the most of what draws my eye here is the turtle shell and the teeth. That's the painting on them because they're much lighter colors. And also this helps to make the stitching and the bolting really stand out. So that's one thing I really think really went a long way, is like all this silver paint really stands out because the rest of the figure is desaturated. So desaturation is how much color, how bright those colors are going to be. How incandescent sometimes, right? Bright, bulbous. Like you think of like the 1960s Batman cartoon. That's saturation. This is more of like the Universal Monsters horror style. So not a lot of saturation. I think it really makes the Psy stand out as well. And I love, God, I love like the fact that they're like lightning bolts combined with like the old Frankenstein's laboratory Tesla style machines. And these things are sharp, so like watch out. Like they're not gonna poke your eye out, but like they definitely give my fingers a little bit of ooh, don't want to get that. So they also fit right inside these little plates. If I can do that with my camera here, there we go. They fit quite nicely. You can put the bolts in there so it'll stay right exactly where you want them. And they look phenomenal. I love the detail that they put into these valves and these dials. You know? They're broken, they don't work, but man, like it looks like an old dial. And I think that's one thing that really kind of geeks me out on this one. So cool. City sewer. Looking great. So, final thoughts on this. Really, like, this is probably one of NECA's more detailed figures, and that's what I really love about it. It's right up there with the NECA movie Turtles as far as like detailing and sculpt, and what I want to see from Ninja Turtles. I am a big fan of the cartoon line, but I think the movie line is really where NECA's strength came in and just knocked it right out of the park. I'm going to talk Toka and Razor on a future episode, and I just can't wait to gush about that. But this is like, I was not really looking forward to this line. I love monsters and Halloween and all that good stuff, but I wasn't really like, for some reason, until I saw this in person, I was like, yeah, this isn't another thing I need to get. But as I look at it here and now, and I'm just like, dude, no, this is so awesome. The amount of like gross gnarly flesh on this guy, the almost like the lightning bolt scar on top of there, how true it is to a really good Frankenstein's monster. And I just love the matted color palette, the muted color palette. I'm really looking forward to getting the next couple of turtles. I mean, there's like what, Invisible Donnie, there's the Mummy, and also the Hunchback. I think they're phenomenal. I kind of hope they keep going on with these. I know there's a Splinter as well as in April, but like there's a few other monsters, and I don't think anyone does monsters better than NECA. I'm hard pressed to think of a toy company that does a better job on monsters. Yeah, I can't really think of one at the moment. But these, man, this is definitely one I would say like get your hands on. Track it down. You won't be disappointed with the sculpting. It's right up there with the movie Turtles. And those are some of my final thoughts. Okay, one last thing I want to tell y'all is if you keep the Psy in the slots, watch out for that pointy piece, because it will go right into the knee pad and bend. So, just a quick shout out. So hopefully my review gave you a little bit more insight into the figure and how awesome I think he is. I think everyone should go get one. If you're a big fan of Ninja Turtles, don't miss out. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share this with a friend of yours. Let's talk toys together. And until next time, take care.